Hello, my name is Kiriath, and this is just I guess a little forced, hobby project update thing, which a couple of people have asked me to do since I decided to start doing Empress Children, finally. Having scrapped every other project I had going, I was like, no, everyone get out, I'm doing Empress Children now. And this is the progress I've made so far. I've only got 4 Terminators ready, the 5th one is going to be put together today. But I thought I would show you what I'm actually doing, because as it turns out, I do actually make Warhammer 40k stuff. Who'd have thought? Actually put models together and everything. So yeah, this is what I have so far. Also, apologies for any weird background noise. They are resurfacing every bit of road and pavement around my house at the moment, so it's noisy as hell the whole time. I'll try and remove what I can, just have to see what happens. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, so these are my Empress Children Terminators, what I have been working on the past few days. And this is most likely going to be the Sarge, because he has all of the bling, he has all of the crests, as you can see. Still a little bit of filing that needs to be done. But yeah, these I've wanted to do Empress Children for ages, but I just never really found kits that I wanted to kit bash them into. I didn't really like the look of the Chaos Terminator kits. They didn't seem fancy enough, really, to be able to turn into what I wanted to turn them into. And then, magically, wonderfully, the Custodies kits came out, and the Alaris Terminators, if you ask me, are fancy as hell, and as such are perfect Empress Children fodder. So this particular guy is made up of a few different pieces. It's obviously the Alaris Custodian body. There is a Cataphractii Lightning Claw on one side. The 3 kind of plumes on the back are all from the Alaris kit, as you can see. So he's got those sticking out the top of the armour. The head is obviously a Chaos Space Marine head, and then on the other side, that is, I believe, a Dark Angel Stormbolter, with a nice bit of chaosy kind of horn growth sticking out the side there, and that is the loincloth from a Sister of Silence. So there's quite a nice mix of kits in this one. I quite like it. It's come out pretty well. He did have a different helmet. The helmet he had before was actually this one right here. But I didn't quite like the way it looked. It felt a little bit off. It didn't seem to work quite as well on the body. I don't know whether it was the slanted nature of the front of the helm or what it was, but it just didn't seem to sit properly. It didn't look great, so I ended up swapping it out for the one that he's got right now. And to be honest, I think it looks way better. Yeah, I just like it more. I think it suits better. Okay, the next one is this lad, who was formerly an apothecary. I don't know whether you could tell. You probably could tell because of the quality apothecary arm on the side there. I think this might be Dark Angels as well. The apothecary thing. But again, a mix of different kits. Cataphractii Stormbolter. Is it a Cataphractii Stormbolter? Oh no, okay, so this one is like a mix. So it's got an older pattern Stormbolter, but I believe the arm is from just a standard Terminator kit, if I'm not mistaken. There was a little bit of gap going, and I tried to green stuff it in, but it didn't look great. So a bit of extra armor plating taken from the Alaris kit sorted that out. I used the head from it was actually the captain, the aggressor from the Dark Imperium box, because my Dark Imperium Marines aren't using the helmets from that box. They're using Forge World Night Lord helmets. So I felt like it suited for some reason, like a kind of ex-apothecary style guy. I'm not really sure why. I put it on, it looked decent, and it seemed to fit the old drill arm on the side there, so I stuck with it. Of course, he's got a traditional Chaos spike on the top. Gotta have one of them. The 3 spikes on the shoulders are actually the spikes from the Guardian Spears. So I cut the spikes off the back of the blades and used those spikes on the shoulder, and he's got a nice decorative plume as well. I really like those plumes that you get in that kit. and it being Empress children, a bit of extra bling doesn't. I think you can get away with a bit of extra bling with that stuff. But yeah, I really like this one because it's still a bit chaosy, but it's not as chaosy in a way. It kind of, there's just something about it. I quite like the pose, and I quite like the newer helmet on the corrupted bits, so to speak. Okay, this is the first one I put together. This was like the proof of concept. This is the only one where I blue tacked everything before I started gluing. Terrible practice, you should blue tack every time, but I don't because I'm lazy. This was the one where I made it and I was like, okay, this could work. This could actually genuinely work. This could be pretty good. So this one, again, mix of different kits. There's a Chaos Space Marine spike on the top, Chaos Space Marine helmet, obviously. Again, I believe that is a Dark Angels chain fist / chain sword powered fist, whatever. And I think it might be another. Okay, so it's a Dark Angel Stormbolter. Yeah, I thought it was, but it's a Grey Knight's arm, because there's no. The Dark Angel's arms have like a dip in the shoulder. The Grey Knight arms don't, and I had a few Grey Knight arms lying around, so I thought I'd use that instead. With a bit of scarring and scalpel work, it'll be nicely defiled and corrupted, so it won't be as Grey Knights. But yeah, that was like the proof of concept one, and that was the one where I was like, yeah, this should work. This absolutely should work. There's something about the Allarus Terminators that I think it's just the sheer amount of ornamentation. They just lend themselves really well, I think, to Empress children. They're the right side of fancy, and once they're painted up as well, if they look a bit too Imperium at the moment, they won't once they're painted, because I have plans for painting them. And finally, it's actually the second one I put together, but this is the icon bearer, because I wanted an icon bearer, because, well, it looks awesome. I really like the way that it joined on there. I took the spikes off around the side to make it smoother. I just felt it looked better. There's a little bit of rough work on the back there that I need to tidy up, but it's not too bad. The weapon combinations on this guy as well. The weapon combos are not being done as a kind of what is most efficient. It is just literally the things I like. If it looks good, it's going on the model. I don't care about like optimum list building or anything like that. I'm all about what looks good. And to be honest, for this guy, having the combi melter from the Chaos Lord, like the Chaos Terminator Lord kit, and a Power Fist from the Cataphractii Terminators, it just looked really good. A little weird bonus there: some skulls and teeth on a like a rope. That is from the Auric Mega Boss kit, from Age of Sigmar, which I bought just to put together and paint because I love the model so much. But I never used that. Instead, I put a chain where that would hang because I thought it looked better, and so I managed to use that bit of that kit on this model, which I quite like. I think it works quite well. And again, standard Chaos Space Marine helmet on top. I said the first guy is most likely the Sarge because of the extra bling. To be honest, they all have. I think it's the Allarus armor itself that kind of makes it so they all have kind of a decent look about them. So in a weird way, I think they could all kind of be the Sarge. I don't know if really there's any point distinguishing because they all look like really beefy and kind of important, which I think is just what the Allarus kit does to a character. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with all of them. I've hopefully got some Chaos vehicle sprues on the way. So they'll probably be spiked up a little bit more. There'll be a bit more Chaos iconography on them. Before I actually paint them, there's going to be more kind of there's going to be more done to them to Chaos them up. But yeah, once they're primed, once they've had a bit more spikiness added, a little bit more defilement put on, and obviously once I've cleaned them up a little bit more, the paint scheme for them is not just going to be like standard purple. It's something that I really like about the description of the Empress children after they fall is the fact that their armour is supposed to be like a riot of colour. It's supposed to be garish and over the top and like just crazy looking. And so that is exactly what I intend to do, because I have, well, I've got a couple of decent colours for it. I've got a bright sort of neon pink. I've got the Hex Lichen purple from Game Colour, and the fluorescent green from Game Colour as well. So they will be purple, but they will have like, I'm going to try and make it so it looks like they have gone out of their own armour with brushes and just like splash colour all over them. So they're not going to look like pristine and purple and gold and white and all shiny. They're going to look like they used to be pristine and purple and gold and white and shiny, and then someone came at them with a bunch of paintbrushes dipped in every colour imaginable, pretty much, because that is how I've always seen them in my head ever since I read the description of them being like, you know, furiously painting stuff and their armour being like a mess of garish colour. I just don't see people really do that to them, and I want them to look as close to that kind of style as possible. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, because traditionally, even though I'm not too fussed about things like keeping things, I've forgotten the word, when it's the same on both sides. Symmetrical, that's it. Whilst I'm not particularly fussed about that, I do at least like a unified scheme. This most likely will only be a unified scheme in that the base colours of purple and gold be present, but the individual units, like the individual models, will probably have like a spread of different colours that have been splashed on over the top. It's going to be a bit of a challenge doing it so it doesn't look like shit, if I'm honest, but I'm kind of looking forward to that because it's something a bit different. So yeah, anyway, that is the state of the Empress Children project so far. As I say, I've got one more Terminator to put together. That is going to be done today, and I have some Storm Fiends on order, because I have, I think, 2 complete Centurion sprues that I haven't used for anything. So I'm going to use the Storm Fiend kit from Age of Sigmar to create massive roided out obliterators by mixing parts between the Storm Fiends and the Centurion kits, because there's like bits of armor plating in there, and there's las cannons, and I believe there's heavy bolters as well, and you know, there's a good amount of weapons that I've got lying around as well. So I want to make them look like kind of genetically messed with, like heavy weapons monsters basically. So I'm looking forward to getting started on that. And then after that it'll be Possessed, which will be a mix of the Palatine Blades from Forge World and the Crazy Snake Women from Age of Sigmar, so that'll be good too. But yeah, that is where I'm currently at with the Empress Children, and I will do more of these as I get more done. So yeah, thank you to everyone who gave me advice about picking a project and sticking with it, because now I'm doing this and I'm very happy with it. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this stuff in the comments below. If you have any ideas for other conversions or kit bashes that could be done to make sweet ass Empress Children, let me know. In the meantime, feel free to click any of the things, video, Patreon, subscribe, all that shit. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one.